This is Pelumi, Pythagoras theorem, Pythagoras consult, mathematics. Today, 20th of August, we have mathematics for SS2, SS2. As we know that SS2 first term, uh, the scheme of work is on logarithm. But which aspect of logarithm? Which aspect of logarithm? They have logarithm less than one, less than one, and we have logarithm, logarithm greater than one. So logarithm less than one, we are going to look at logarithm less than one first. And if you look at it, um, SS1, they have done something similar, but we need like taking it from the rudiment for the student in SS1 to benefit from it. Then the student from SS2 in SS2. Now let's look at first, if you are to look at logarithm that is less than one. Let me give the example. No, before example, there are some things that is very important to look at. So in this aspect, you are not going to be using calculator because they will ask you evaluate without using calculator. It means it's logarithm. So let's look at numbers first. Numbers and their characteristics. So their characteristics, um, take for instance, let's see the logarithm that are less than one. Oh, let's see the ones that are greater than one, then we'll now see the ones that are less than one. What do we do in this characteristic? Majorly is just to put it in other words, in standard form. You see that mathematics is what? A chain. If you look at JSS2, their first topic we treated was standard form. So if you didn't get it clear, so people that said the real class starts from SS1 is a lie. It starts from primary one. Real class actually starts from what? Primary one. This standard form, if you don't get it right in GS2, why can't you fix it now? Because you need it here. Yes, let's say we are given 2, 4, 5.3. I want to look for the characteristic. The characteristic, majorly, it is the number before the decimal. Before the decimal. Now let's look at the characteristic of this one. Normally, what we normally do in standard form is to shift the point to the back of the first number other than a 0. So if I'm shifting this one, I'll shift it 1, 2. So the characteristic of this one will be 2 points before I start looking for this one inside the logarithm table. So let's see another one. If we should have 6878.9. The characteristic of this one, we make it 3 times. We shift it 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 points. So the one that is less than all this one, they are greater than what? They are greater than 1. But the ones that are less than 1, that's negative characteristic. That one has what? Negative. This one, we can say, let me say, greater than 1. So that one has what? That greater than 1 has positive characteristic. The characteristic is what? Positive. What I mean by that is that you see that this one, when there is nothing here, it means there is plus there. But the one that is less than 1, the characteristic is always what? Negative. And we have the name, we call it, some call it, sometimes we call it bar. They say bar 1. But what we just mean by that is what? Negative. So let me give you an example of the one. Let's say 0.002. Normally, in the standard form, you shift the point towards the what? I told you the other time that one that has negative index when it comes to, if I'm to look for the standard form of this, it will be 0.002. So I'll say 1, 2, 3. So it must be at the back of the first number other than 0. So we have 2 points. If there's nothing there, I might not put it. 10 raised to power minus 1, 2, 3 minus 3. So here, putting it in standard form like this is what we are after. We are actually after the power of that index. So this one, if we shift it 1, 2, 3, we write it as bar 3. Bar 3 means negative 3. It means negative 3 before we look for the logarithm. So that's the characteristic of that this number. So someone could have 1.134. So this one is just one time. So that's bar 1, which is minus 1 or negative 1. So this is how to get the characteristic for, and that's the first thing in logarithm. The logarithm either less than 1 or greater than 1. So next is, how do we check logarithm table? Because SS1, it is compulsory you know how to check what? Logarithm table. Okay, let me start from okay, let me give you example so that we said it said evaluate evaluate. Take for instance, let me see, 0.24 times 0.003. So let's evaluate this using logarithm. So we have the solution goes thus. We have our number and we have our logarithm. So I'll start with this first number, which is what? 0.24. We can get this characteristic as we have been taught here. First, the characteristic is just 1, that's bar 1. While the second one, we have 0.003. The characteristic is 1, 2, 3. That's bar 3. Now let's now go to logarithm table. Now looking at it, this is what we are going to look at. This is 24 under 0. There's nothing here. 24 under 0. You ignore this. 24 under 0. Now let's look at it. So this is logarithm table. Then we are going to look at 24. You can see that this starts from 10. So we'll go to 24. So this is 24. You see, this is 24. But they said under 0. Then we'll come here to check. This is under 0. So we are talking about this number. This particular number. And that number is 38. That number is what? 3802. 3802. The number is 3802. Usually, it will be 4 numbers. Now this next one, we have gotten the characteristic. It's not just only three. All this one we ignore. So we go to you possibly you won't see. Okay, let me do it for let's say the first time. Let me add here. Let me add one. So let me add one in this before we talk about the other one. So I'll just go and look at what 31. Now let's go and check 31. So this is the logarithm for 31. Let's go. This 31. This 31. You see it? So this 31. Now 31 under 0. You see it? 31 under 0 is what? 4914. 4914. So we say 4914. Now, look at our question back. They say multiplication. Like we know that if they ask us to evaluate and its multiplication, when we get to log, we are going to add. Now let's add. This one will give me 6. This give me 1. And this one 17. I take 1. And this is 7, 8. Now here there is issue. The issue is that we have -1 plus -3. Now let's write it out. -1 plus -3. Minus plus times minus, it will give us minus, of course. So finally, -1 -3 will give us -4. So that this one now be bar 4. Then when we have gotten to this place, not that we have ended it, then we look for the antilog of this. Now when we say we look for the antilog, we are not concerned mainly about the characteristic, but we are concerned about the one after the point. Now the antilog we'll be checking now will be 87 under 1. And we are going to add the difference of 6. The difference of 6 we are going to, so let's check. Now looking at this place, you realize that there is a point before it. That's the characteristic that we left. Now we said we want to look at 87 under 1. So this is our 87. This is our 87 under 1. This is under 1. That is 7430. We now said you trace the line to where under 6, and that is 10, which is what? 10. So we'll now add it to it. 7430 plus 10. 7430. Then add this one now is the difference. That is difference 6. So let's add 0, 4, 4, 7. So we now have our answer to be 7440. Now my characteristic is 4. So I will come and insert my decimal point where I will get this characteristic if I'm to move backward. So now to get it here, it will be something like 1, 2, 3. This is 3. So I'll add 1 is 0. So it will now be 1, 2, 3, 4. So for that, I said bar 4. So to say bar 4 is -4, and it will be at the front. That's my boy just called my attention now. So ordinarily, I'll put it in form that it will now be 0 points, because I want to have this characteristic 1, 2, 3, then 7, 4, 4, 0, possibly. Let's look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this one will give me characteristic of 4. So this will now be finally my answer. So I will do it in such a way that it's going to have characteristic of 4. So therefore I will have 0.00074440. So that will be my answer. Continue. This is greater than 1. Want to evaluate using it like we normally say. we have our number, and we have our log. We start with the first one. So it's going to be 69.24. So the characteristic of this one is just 1 times. So it's now positive. This is positive characteristic as you have done negative characteristic. You are shifting in standard form. This one will give us positive power, and that is 1. The other one is 8.31. This one, the point is already at the right place. So that will be the 0. We are not shifting the point. I do tell students that it's very simple. In this case, just count 2 numbers before this before point. Reduce it by 1. 1 number before, reduce it by 1. Any number you count before decimal, reduce it by 1 to give you your characteristic. That's another short way to get it. Yes, let's now look at this. In this case now, we'll look at 69 under 2 difference 4. Let's check it. 8403. Then we are going to check 83 under 1. 9196. So like we said, multiplication, it will be addition here. Then if it is division, it will be subtraction. If this place gives us division, then we are going to subtract here. And if this gives us multiplication, we are going to, okay, we have done that of multiplication that time. Okay, let's say division. Sorry, let's say division so that it will make a kind of difference. So this one now, since it's different and division in our question, we are going to subtract. So don't let us forget. Let's subtract. This one will be 13 minus 6. I think that will give us 7. So this one, of course, will be 9. So that's 0. This one will be 3. That's 2. And this one, 1 here, that's 18. And that will be 9. This one will give us 0. That is our subtraction. Then we look for our anti-log. Our anti-log is going to, we are going to concentrate on this, like I said. 92 under 0, difference 7. 8332. So when we have gotten this, we'll do it in such a way that you have characteristic of 0. And if we want to make it to have characteristic of 0, we start our point here. So this one will give us 0 characteristic, and therefore this is our answer. Third example will be centered on where you are given the one that has maybe square. Maybe something you have like 1.5, they give you square and they ask you to evaluate without using, or you are given cube or raised to power 4. The meaning of this thing is after you have done whatever you want to do, get your logarithm, you multiply it by that power. So let's solve this one and see how it goes. This one is number and this is what? Log. So we have 4 to 4295 raised to power 3. So the characteristic of this one is just what? Ones. I'm dealing with the 1 inside the bracket first. I'm not concerned with the 3 now. So when it raises to power, it's just to multiply it by that. So this one is just, we take it 1, which is a characteristic. Now we look at 42 under 9, difference 5. Let's check it. 330. Now, having gotten this, we are going to consider this, like I said, if you raise to power, just multiply whatever you have gotten with what? 3. And it's going to give you this multiplied by this, 0, and this multiplied by this, 9. We have another 9. And this one, 18. We take 1, 3, 4. So this, then we look for the anti-log of this. Anti-log of this. If I have to add it to something, has to multiply with something, then you can now multiply. But then let's look for the anti-log of this, and that is 89 under 9, difference 0. Now let's see. 7925. Now 7925, we want it to have the characteristic of 4 in positive. So I think it will be at the end. So this 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3, and we said characteristic of 4, so I will add the 0. Because if I didn't put point, it means the point is at the end. So let me count it. If it's going to give me characteristic of 4, 1, 2, 3. No, it's giving me 3. So I will add the 0 to make the point here, so that it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be our answer. So do you now know why I added the 0? Is because to make it this characteristic. Then we'll now move to the one that has fraction index. Fraction index. Fraction index, the one we said roots. So it's the one that form is either square roots or cube roots or fourth roots. So any of them. So when this one is multiplication by this one will just be division by this. Now let's quickly check it, and let's note if we are given, say for instance, let me say 0.24 raised to okay, let me say roots. If you are given this form, the meaning of this in indices to say is 0.24. This one, without writing anything here, is raised to power half. Is this denominator that makes the roots. What about if it's in this form? So the meaning is that it's raised to power 1 over 3. So if this one is 0.24 raised to power 2 over 3, this base will come and make cube roots on this. And because here is 1, that's why I would not bother to put anything here. This power 1 is 1, this power 1 is 1. But here, the 2 will still be here. That is, when we finish everything, we'll still multiply it by 2. But in a case where it's just this one, where it has 1 here, that is 1 here, nothing here, it's 1 when you put it in the fraction index, and it will just be multiplied by it. Let's take note of that. Evaluate this using logarithm without using calculator. Number log. So you write it there, the normal cube root of. So the I'm dealing with the one inside the root. Now characteristic is just ones. 1. So we look at 66 under 3 difference 2. So is what? 8216. So this one can also be written in another form. Perhaps if you see, it may be written in this form. It's still the same thing. In this form, where it will be 1 over 3. These two is still, they are the same. So take note, they are the same. This one is the one that formed the cube roots. So having gotten this, you have gotten what is inside. So the next thing is to do what? To divide by 3. Is to divide by 3. And as you know that if we are dividing, the division starts from the front, not like multiplication that starts from the back. So if I now say 3 divided by this, I know it will give me what? It will give me 0. Then this one comes here. 3 in 18, 6. 3 in 2, I know it's not possible. 3 in 21, and that's what? 7. And 3, how many 3 in 6? That's what? 2. So I look for the anti-log of this. So that is 60. 60 under 7 difference 2. Anti-log is equals to 40447. So now we are going 4048. We are going to insert our point in such a way that our point will have characteristic of 0, and that is when the point is at the right place. So this now give me characteristic of 0. So we could use this to solve any question. Assignment. This assignment for the first time giving you assignments because I didn't solve something similar. I've solved everything there, but I didn't put it together. Then I need to share little lights. Now, for kids that want to do it or students that want to do it, we have already done this in form of this. So you will do it, you won't do it to anti-log level. You stop at the logarithm level. After your multiplication, you stop there for this. Then you do this one in form of the beginning, in form of this one. When you have gotten this, then whatever you have gotten, two of them is now addition. You get your answer, you put it one side. I'll still solve such in a coming video. Then I'll solve this one separate in this form. So I'll get my answer. All the answer gotten here and the one here, I will, because this is division, I will subtract. Division means subtract. My answer that I've gotten, then I look for the fourth root, that is I divide it by 4 before I now finally look for my logarithm. Logarithm is the last thing. So, like we said, subscribe, watch our channel on YouTube, and use this to encourage us. We'll give more. After this class, we'll still go to SS3 to solve some maths. I hope I'm meeting the demand. If there are little mistakes, I beg you to just overlook, and I can't say we are perfect. You can see that my boy in SS1, SS2 is trying to tell me that this, of course, that is part of it. Nobody is perfect. So we are still going to meet in the next video. Have a nice time.